Alright, ladies and gentlemen, for this presentation we're going to focus on ions, which is a state that elements can enter into due to their desire to have specific situations within their valence shells. So let's take a look at these two examples we have in front of us. Okay, so here I have a sodium and I have a chlorine. So you'll notice that sodium, based upon our diagram, has 11 protons, which you can see right there. And if it has 11 protons, it means that it has 11 electrons. You'll notice that in the first energy level, there are 2 electrons, which leaves us with 9 electrons. You'll notice in the second energy level, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That leaves us with 1 electron. And so what we see here is this 1 electron in our valence shell. Okay. Now over here, I have another atom. I have chlorine. Now, chlorine has 17 protons. So that means that it has 17 electrons. Well, 2 go in the first shell, because 2 always go there. That leaves me with 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 go in the second shell. That leaves me with 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so that means that there is 7 electrons in the valence shell, because the valence shell is the outermost shell. And the valence shell is very important in determining the properties of an atom. And the reason that's the case is because this valence shell wants to be full or empty. And remember, for the valence shell to be full means 2 electrons in the first energy level, 8 electrons in the second energy level, 8 electrons in the third energy level. And so everything in nature is about getting things to full or empty, because that is when the element is in its lowest energy state. So every element wants to be at its lowest energy state. Everything else is second. So if I'm at my lowest energy state, then that is the state I want to be in. And so elements do a lot of work trying to get to their lowest energy state. That means filling or emptying the valence shell. And what happens is whatever is easiest. Okay? So sodium has 1 electron in its valence shell. It wants either a full or an empty valence shell. So it is either going to lose or gain electrons until that valence shell is full or empty. Chlorine has 7 valence electrons. It wants either a full or empty valence shell, and it will gain or lose electrons to get to one of those statuses. So let's take a look at these again, right? Sodium has 1 valence electron. It is going to be easier to lose that valence. Okay? So what that means is sodium will shed this electron, and now you'll notice it has 11 protons, so it has 11 positive charges. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And right now it has 10 negative charges. And so you have to look at that and ask yourself, what does it have more of? Positive or negative? And the answer is negative. So the answer is positive. So this has 1 positive charge extra. That makes sodium, when it loses that valence, a positive ion. And we write that positive in the upper right-hand side. Now chlorine over here, chlorine has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it's going to be far easier for chlorine to grab 7 electrons. I'm sorry, to grab 1 electron to get to 8 than it will be for chlorine to lose 7 electrons. So chlorine is going to gain a valence. And in this case, it's going to gain just 1. So that way we would go here, and now chlorine will have 8 valence electrons and a full valence shell. And so what this does is this creates a situation where chlorine now has 17 protons, so 17 positive charges, and 18 electrons, or 18 negative charges. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there's 18 electrons, 17 protons. What that does is it gives us 1 extra electron. And that means that chlorine is a negative charge. And we write that again in the upper right-hand corner. So in essence, what we're talking about here when we discuss ions is the gaining of electrons to fill a valence shell. And when an element is going to gain electrons, this is going to make it a negative ion, or what we refer to as an anion. Okay? So that means it's going to have a negative charge. The other possibility is you are losing electrons to empty a valence shell. This will create a positive ion because now you're going to have more protons than electrons. And we refer to that as a cation. And the real big understanding is ions happen so that elements can get to their lowest energy state. Frequently people assume, oh, elements want to be neutrally charged. That is not the truth. Elements want to be at the lowest energy state. The lowest energy state is all about the valence. All right, so that's some brief info on ions.